Okay, guys, Chris Cullen back with you on SeeSeas Aquatic Adventures. And in case you haven't seen the fish nook, this is the fish nook. Okay, just gonna give you an update a little bit. Not really an update, but I want to show you guys what we got going on and some of the experiments that we deal with here. Um, so down here is where a lot of my activity happens. So down here, I do a lot of breeding. I do a lot of testing. I do a lot of growing of plants. I try a bunch of different things to see what I can get away with. Okay, and I'll just real quickly show you what we do. So this is the saltwater tank, and I've pretty much mastered saltwater right now. So I'm gonna keep going with the saltwater. I may extend this out. I may do some other stuff with saltwater. I just don't like doing saltwater in places that I rent because the salt creep. I don't trust it. I've seen it mangle stuff. Even when you change a tank from saltwater to freshwater, I still see that salt creep do a lot of damage. So we're gonna hold off on doing anything big with saltwater, but until I get my own place. Um, Although the basement will be a nice place to start. I may expand on it. We'll see what happens. But this is my first real um, dive into saltwater. Now I've actually done saltwater before. I've done corals before. I've done it in the past in my old, um, in the house that I grew up in, I should say. Not my old house because I haven't done saltwater tank since I was a kid. But we used to experiment and we used to love doing saltwater tanks. But again, the salt creep was a big issue for us, and then we stopped doing it. But um, this would be a perfect spot to do saltwater. As you can see, there's no real, the cement wall back here, so they can't really grow anywhere. Um, you can see it, the creep, it goes down the tank, it makes a mess. And that's the evaporation of the water. And that salt creep, it just gets all over the place. You can see the salt back here. It's pretty much the dried up water and the salt that's left behind. So anyway, that's for my first dive into saltwater for a while. This is a convict breeding tank. I got some mixed fish in there. I actually had to add some rocks in here yesterday because it looks like they're laying eggs. And I got these guys in a small tank. It's only a 35-gallon. Um, so uh, you know, I'm assuming that they're gonna have babies. So I did put more hiding spaces in here. As you can see, there's an African cichlid in there. But these guys, they've been they've been together since they were babies. So actually, the one is not part of the babies. One is a female from another group that I have. So they're starting to breed right now. These two guys here. But again, this is another experiment that I deal with. I may have to move fish. I'm not sure yet, but that's an experiment we have. Now, some of these tanks up here, I experimented in the past with cultures. I've done black worm cultures. I've done white worm cultures. I keep snails in this tank here. Um, that's a snail tank, a refuge, I call it. There's another refuge here for snails. This is an experiment with an unfiltered tank. I want to see how the tank does. You can see it's growing some algae in there. It's just a fun little experiment I did. I have nothing in here, but there was two snails in, and they're actually growing in there. There's a couple of snails, but you can see them right there that have babies, which is amazing that there's no filter in here at all. There's a filter in here, a bubbler. That's why these snails, there's a bunch of snails in the bottom. There's black worms in here too. I've actually moved the black worms from here to here. Um, I've experimented both, but they do better in here. I have some left in there. I'm hoping that they give me a bigger culture. This is just a tank that oh, the video cut off there, guys. But that's just an experimental tank. I haven't really done anything with that yet. There's nothing in there, but I may do something with that. I may do some snails. I don't know. I'm trying to debate what I want to do. We run everything off that one pump down here. It runs all my tanks down here. Oddly enough, there's a tank right here. We're experimenting with this plant. I'm not sure what plant that is, but I cut the leaves off. It's been doing okay. I may have to move it back to this one where it was in here. This is a beta tank. We moved the beta out of there. Unfortunately, the beta jumped out, I should say. I was feeding him, and I didn't put this lid back on, and he jumped out of the tank. I checked the water. The water was fine. Maybe it was too tight for him in there. I don't know. Um, but he was doing fine. I actually was feeding him and I looked at him and he was doing great. A big beta too. I might have had to move him because he got big, but for right now, we put some guppy babies in here. If you look real close, this is an experiment. I want to see how they do in this small tank. It's a grow out baby tank. Um, so we've actually kept that bowl ever since we did the depths unknown contest, pack a bowl contest. That stays with us. We haven't moved it. We're thinking about moving upstairs, maybe on the kitchen counter. We don't know yet. All depends on what the wife wants. Okay, this tank right here, I'll be honest with you, is empty. Haven't done anything with it yet. This is a snail tank. A bunch of different snails, bladder snails. I just fed them cucumbers and they went crazy. So I keep them to feed the snail the puffers. And then of course this is a quarantine tank. I have a fish in there that's sick. Looks like they bit his tail off. So I'm treating him right now. Hopefully he'll get better. I don't think he will, but we'll see what happens. Um, this is an angelfish tank. I got the lights off right now, but there are angelfish in there. The grow outs, the babies we had. This is another guppy tank for babies. This is a platy experiment I'm doing. There's a bunch of platies in there. I got the lights turned off right now, but I can turn it on real quick. But these are platies. They had a bunch of babies in there. We're messing with that. And these are just, if you look closer, they're just guppy babies. You can't really see much. There are a bunch of babies in there in the 10-gallon. We're gonna grow them out. May sell them. May put them back in the tank. The problem with selling these guys is these are what they call mutt guppies. So probably not gonna work out. But we'll see what happens. But we're gonna leave that light off right now because I have a filter. I'm filtering a tank. I like to move some filters around sometimes. So we're gonna leave it right now. You can't really see the angelfish in there, but actually let me just turn this light up real quick and we can show them for you real quick and see how they look. There you go. You look in there. There's a couple guys in there. They're doing fine. I'm gonna do a little gravel vac in here, but they're doing fine otherwise. So that's pretty much it. That's the fish nook. I didn't show you this tank. This is just a mixed tank. There's a bunch of different fish in there. There's a molly back there. Shellfin molly. There's a couple different fish in there. Mostly barbs. Snakeskin barbs, a molly. This is pretty much the fish that we have from the 220 gallons. We just moved them. There's the molly right there. The shellfin molly. He's doing pretty good. So that's the fish nook, guys. So I just wanted to give you a basic idea of how we experiment a lot here. This is all experimental down here. I think there's 1-2 tanks that aren't experimental. This is the mixed tank and the 15-gallon right in front of us. That's just a regular, even though I am experimenting with that plant. Okay. Now, the biggest reason why I wanted to show you this is because I wanted to show you what we got going on outside. Now, we got all these tanks. We got the garage tanks, which I'll show you real quick. And then we got the outside pond, which I'm going to show you real quick and show you how we filter that pond. Okay, so hold on one second, guys. Let me go upstairs. Okay, guys. We're up here, and this is the outdoor deck pond. As you can see, my wife has a bunch of plants on the deck. It looks like these plants here are dying, but they're vegetables, I believe. They're green peas or beans. Don't look too good. Actually, the peas right here growing. But it's been dry here in Pennsylvania. As you can see, we got the haze today with the Canadian fires. It's actually not that bad here right now. It was worse here this morning. Anyway, this is we showed you downstairs in the fish nook. Those are pretty much all the experiments we got going on. We like to experiment here, as you can see. This is the experiment that I'm most proud of. This is what we did last year, the bog filter. As you can see, the plants are growing like crazy. Okay, now we actually bought these plants at a local gardening center. So you can see these here are going to grow flowers. They're called frog fruit. This is obviously a white calla lily. And then this back here is irises. And you can see this one's growing. It hasn't grown a flower yet, but we're actually gonna keep an eye on these plants and give you guys updates on this plant. But you can see this one only had one sprout when we bought it, and now it's like 5 of them, 6 of them, and they're growing flowers. So this is something we're very proud of. And if you don't know how a bog filter works, it's we did a video about how you should keep your fish tanks and types of filtration, types of stuff that keep you beneficial bacteria. This is a perfect example of how we do both. This is I have a pump running through the water. There's a pump down there. You can see it. The water is crystal clear, but the pump line goes across. It goes through the bog filter, through the plant roots, and it filters the water. Now I also run a sponge filter in there. There's a light in there. I do that for effect, but there's actually a 2-line pump that we use. One for just a bubbler, one for the sponge filter. This is extra filtration. These fish are going to get big. You can see the one Govus down there is already about 8 inches. They get about 12 inches. The comments, and the Shibunkin get about 18. So this is going to be the last year we do this pond. We're going to have to move it or get a bigger one. I may just find a way to do 2 of these. I don't know. Maybe make this into a pond. Nah, my wife would kill me. Actually, I gotta put some water in there. Anyway, it mixes in with the garden stuff she has going out here. She's kind of been neglectful lately because she's been busy at work, but I'm sure she'll come out of this weekend and do some stuff. You can see, I'll take a picture from back here or a video. You can see the plants on the deck. Stuff kind of dead, but she got to get into it. But this is what we do here. We like the plants, and I'll take a video from this side too. You can see she got a bunch of stuff going on, and she, as you said, she's been kind of neglectful lately because she's been working a lot. So a lot of this stuff has to grow back. I may just come out here and water, but that's pretty much what we got going on. So that's a perfect example of how a bog filter works. Okay, I don't have anything in there, no sand, no. Only thing we have in there is pea gravel, and this is lava rock here, and you can see the roots are growing through that lava rock. So the great thing about lava rock and pea gravel is that you have another source for your beneficial bacteria to grow on, and it also benefits your plants because the beneficial bacteria is inside the rock and inside that filter. So not only is it filtering the water, the plants, the roots are growing in with the beneficial bacteria. So it's all being used. So that's why when they say you should really have plants in your tank, really the main thing is having roots. The water go through the roots so the plants can eat the nitrates and grow. Okay, like we have going on here. This is a perfect example also of how sunlight works better than man-made light or light that we recreate. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to keep a lot of light in the garage and the basement, so the plants don't do great. They really don't, except for the plants that don't need light, that could do good with low light. I mean, you can see some of the tanks downstairs have that. So that's pretty much it, guys. That is the deck pond. I know a lot of guys like to use the deck pond to breed, which is perfectly fine. But I actually want to do it next year. There's also white cloud minnows and gold cloud minnows in here too, so I may want to just keep those guys in there for next year, and then let them breed. The goldfish, like I said, I might get a bigger pond. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we'll have to go to the store see what we can find. This is only 25 gallons, so obviously they'll grow out of that. But this tank is has plenty of filtration in it. We actually got it covered because there's birds around here, birds of prey that can come swoop down and do something to the fish. So we keep it covered. We won't show you the garage today, guys, because the garage pretty much is not experimental. It's just we go put fish in there and let them live. We do have 15 gallon there. That's a grow out tank for the severums right now, but we also use that for a quarantine tank. So that is the outdoor pond, the bog filter. As you can see, the plants are growing crazy. We're going to eventually move some of the stuff out of here. Probably, I might move the pond lily into the pond. I don't know yet. Which, depending how big it gets, I might just move these other plants. But we'll figure something out. We want to see these flowers grow. We'll give you guys an update once the flowers do grow. Okay, so that's what we got going on. We got all kinds of different projects going on, different experiments here at SeeSeas. So hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, we'll see you. Have a great day. Remember, you can't own them, rehome them. And like, subscribe, recommend us, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. All right, guys? And hopefully this will be overgrown next time we do a video. See ya.